Good evening, ladies, gentlemen, and all variations thereof, and welcome, one and all, to session 41 of Shadows of Sorcery. Today, we are joined by our newest member, the Monk of Draconic Heritage, Vizra Ochiva, played by Dusty. We are joined by our Ranger of Draconic Origins as well, to a degree. Our wonderful Ingvar Svan, as played by Lydia. And we are joined by our dashing professorial rogue, Darren Moran, as played by Lying.
Hello.
We will also be joined by our wonderful librarian, who is played by Zarian, later on in the session. However, they are going to be a little late. Prodigious Maximus is today not around, as Elfie is spending the day with their partner, and I'm not one to interrupt young love. Yes. So, with all that in mind, who wants to do the recap?
I punched a guy.
Dusty,
Yeah?
you volunteered. Recap.
No!
Time.
Yes.
You did. You
Yep.
said something.
You said something.
Yep, that first one talks loses. That's how it works.
This is bullshit.
So, what happened last session?
Well, last session was my backstory.
Okay, what happened the session before that, then?
There was a guy. Book exploded. We fought the guy. Prod got, like, possessed by the book. And then we unpossessed them. And now it's fine.
Fair enough.
And now we're
fair
going for
enough.
lunch.
That'll do. So yeah, last session, our party of intrepid adventurers decided to enter the Royal Library's Academy, Royal Academy's library in the keep in Farrenholm. And in doing so, I encountered an interesting situation where a researcher had gotten trapped by a cursed tome and was flinging around spells not of their own making. Our party bravely stepped in, took down the researcher, but Prod touched the book and failed the wisdom saving throw and was taken over by the book, becoming aware that their own morality had been stripped from them and that this book was the only thing that truly mattered. After this ensuing conflict, Prod was eventually freed from the influence of the book, with the librarian's quick thinking utilizing an anti-magic orb that is in their possession. With this done, in stepped the High Regent of Skyray's Keep and Farrenholm beyond. In fact, the High Regent of the entirety of the continent of, or the country of Rodavi, stepped through the doors and said, "What's all this?" And then, seeing that you had assisted the researcher and not killed them, which is pretty important, and maintained the safety of the Royal Academy's library, the High Regent promptly invited you to peruse the shelves at your leisure, and also invited you to dinner at the actual keep that evening. You spent the day researching a variety of things. You, Darren, found out that dragons were originally made from the shards of the souls of gods, which is pretty interesting. You, Ingvar, found out about a obscure piece of arcane warfare technology known as a rage ball, which inflicts, is fired from a essentially a gunpowder lit cannon, or an arcane cannon of some sort, and inflicts a barbaric-like rage on anyone caught within it, causing them to attack whatever is around them. It's also explosive, so anything that is caught in the blast radius could be decimated. And you found that tucked away in some notes in a corner of the library. And you, Visera, spent most of the time hanging around Prodigious Maximus, your new half-orcish friend, who is currently wearing some dashing, a very dashing purple long coat that has this massive oval ab window.
God.
The evening rolls around, and eventually a servant comes into the library looking for the five of you, pulls you aside, goes for you specifically first, Darren, pulls you aside and says, dinner will be served in 30 minutes. The High Regent would like to extend his sincerest gratitude for your assistance today. If you could make your way to the keep in about half an hour, we would be most appreciative. And it sort of waits for your reply.
Very well, we'll be along shortly, I expect.
Very well. We hope you have a pleasant evening. And he sort of scurries off. This very mouse-like man, almost. He's old and greying, whiskers, and he just sort of scurries out of the library back towards the keep. He looks like he's been around for a very long time. He gives you a bit of a creepy air, but he seems fine for the most part. Okay, so you guys have about half an hour-ish, if you want to inform the rest of the party, Darren, because he only seemed to be interested in you before he left.
Alright, dinner and 30, everybody.
And you guys have about half an hour to finish up whatever you want to research here in the library before you need to make your way to the castle. Is there anything that you want to look up specifically at the moment? Or that you want to continue researching before you head to dinner?
I'm gonna take 0.5 out of the list I sent you.
0.5. Let me open up Discord. Let's see. Okay. Yeah. So that's part of what you were researching earlier. So it doesn't take long to eventually find some texts on this sort of transmutation. Many texts state that draconic materials are generally too volatile to utilize in sort of transmutation rituals. They have a tendency to create explosive feedback if not done correctly. It takes a lot of work, it takes a lot of planning and preparation to use any draconic materials in transmutative rituals. There is mention briefly of organic components of draconic materials being used to augment someone's physiology, but it's very... It is not a very practiced thing to do, because generally it leaves the one augmented with physical differences that might not be desired, such as scales on the hands, talons, eyes that have turned draconic and slitted. Sometimes it's even resulted in horns. To a degree, it seems that when a draconic transmutation ritual, which very rarely done, I should point out, and not many people know how to do them properly, but when it is done, it generally results in the subject turning closer to a humanoid tiefling of some type, but with more scales. Not necessarily a dragonborn, but more like more in line with what a tiefling or a dragonborn might look like. They're still realistically the original race they were, however, it's a very slight adjustment, sometimes more extrapolated depending on the material used, essentially. But some materials are considered more volatile than others. Scales are generally considered pretty safe, blood is considered relatively dangerous, etc., etc.
And hearts?
No research on hearts. Well, specifically no research on the dragon heart that you have, which isn't actually a dragon heart, it's dragon's breath in purest form, essentially. A dragon's heart and what you have are two very different things. And there is no research on this, because this is one of the rarest things you could ever get from a dragon, and you need to be on the spot to harvest it, essentially. It requires preparation, it requires months of planning in advance, And even if you do manage to kill the dragon, you still have to go through and harvest this substance within a certain time period, essentially.
Correct.
So yeah. So there is no research that you can find on using this type of item in transmutation, essentially. At least not in this library. Does anyone else need to research anything?
I think Ingvar's found everything he needs at the minute.
Okay.
Can I see if there's
Visa?
any information on like the areas around here and to the north
Okay.
that I'm looking for?
Roll me an investigation check.
15.
15. You find a few different maps. Some of them are a little bit out of date, I will say. Some of them are a few decades old. You find one that's relatively new, but it doesn't detail too far out. Eventually you come across a specific map that has a few of the areas around. It shows some swamps to the sort of southwest. It shows the frozen wastes in the north. It shows the crystal wastes, which are sort of far to the northwest. The area around you is sort of on the coast of Radavi. It's on the sort of northeastern coast, and is essentially sort of it's kind of nestled up in one corner of the continent, and there is a lot of ocean around this area as well. It's just kind of covering the whole thing. So it's sort of like this is ocean that it's somewhat mapped out, and then this section is kind of land that's been mapped out, and the continent kind of goes like this. And sort of Fernholm is built on essentially a relatively large peninsula that's sort of sticking out the top edge of the Radavi continent. And the maps aren't too specific, but they give you a general idea of what the area looks like around. And you can kind of track where you've been recently to get to where you are now.
Okay.
Okay. So if that is all the research that you guys want to do, you hear a small bell, a chime, as the hour chimes on a nearby sort of arcane clock, and you all head out into the area, into the courtyard. There we go. And forward to the keep. Your party, led by Darren, who currently seems to be the most, shall we say, influencing voice here.
Yay, high persuasion.
You are led up the stairs to the massive sort of fortified castle keep that is here in the here in sort of the Skyray's keep. As you all approach the front door, a few guards sort of step by and start winching these massive sort of wheels. And you notice that up above the gate, you also see this massive wheel being turned by another set of guards. It seems like all three of these need to be turned to raise this massive gate. And the gate opens. before you lies a massive marble-esque hall with tall columns that spans a good 90 to 150 feet-ish in that direction. In the center has been laid a large table with multiple chairs, and you can see already seated are 5 figures. The High Regent sits rather, at a large winged chair at the head of the table. On his left sits the prince, and on his right sits the youngest princess. On their sides, respectively, sit 2 relatively high-ranking guards, as far as you can tell. The recent, shall we say, occurrences have left the High Regent and the prince and princesses feeling a little less safe in the company of others than they usually would. So if you guys wanna move
Make
your
our way in, I guess. Make our appearance.
Indeed. As you approach... Oh, hello. A render has finished. Yay! Sorry. I was rendering a video in the background. And
Hey, snap.
I will check that later. That is fine. Apologies, everybody. Okay. So, you enter in, and the High Regent sort of stands to his feet and sort of raises a glass and says, "Welcome, friends, welcome. Welcome. Take a seat, please, take a seat. I'm not sure if your draconic friend there," and he sort of gestures to Kazuma, "would prefer a seat, so we procured this rather large cushion as well. It seemed more appropriate for a 4-legged being." He sort of waves his hand, and you see in the corner there's just this large, ornate sort of beanbag-style cushion with red tassels and gold embroidery and stuff like that.
I'm kind of envious.
And he sort of gestures to the rest of you and says, "Please, please, take a seat. Anywhere you like. Please, no formalities this evening. We've had enough formalities this past week." And you take your seats.
And then we leave with them.
We leave with the seat.
Yes, of course. They're expensive seats, you know, they'll fetch a lot.
Well, in fairness, the seats in Tailspire cost like 12 quid, so... yeah. And he sort of, as you all sit down, he gestures to a servant who's standing by and says, "First course, if you please, Wilfred." And that mousy-looking servant that you saw earlier sort of nods, bobs his head very, very quietly, and sort of scurries out. And suddenly the chamber just floods with dozens of different people, bringing out a variety of different sort of meals and various foods and items. There's a fully roasted pig that is served first, along with a variety of different drinks. There's just a bunch of stuff that is served on the table. Everyone is handed these sort of glasses of sort of wine or some form of alcoholic beverage, except for the princess, who is handed a small jug of some sort of essentially maybe
apple
juice or something like that. A variety of bottles are laid out. A practical cornucopia is also laid out on the on the table, filled with fruits and vegetables. There's a lot. There's a lot of different foods that have been laid out on the table for everyone. And the High Regent sort of gestures to you all and says, "Please dig in, and please tell me what has brought you to our fine city."
That's a loaded question.
Well, I will reach forward and pick up my glass and mention, we are by nature researchers, so
Researchers, yes.
we had heard
understand.
well of your library.
Yes. Our library has been curated for many hundreds of years at this point. It is a sanctuary of knowledge here in Rodavia. The Royal Academy has produced some of the finest professors and mages, and the finest aside from the mage schools themselves. But they're a more elite, shall we say, clientele. Yes, no, we pride ourselves on our research and our collection. We are, by nature, a studious city, one might say. Yes. No, please continue. What is your research, might I ask? What do you research in specifically?
My particular specialty, or at least my special hobby, one might say, is the study of draconic transmutation. This is a very thinly veiled field as it currently stands. There hasn't been very much good work into it.
Draconic transmutation. I haven't heard those words in some years. I believe the last researcher that came through looking for draconic transmutation was here 6 years ago? Yes, he went south after that, but I don't recall where his next stop was, I'm afraid. Interesting. And sort of the younger, the prince sort of interjects and goes, "Well, what are you using this transmutation for? What do you want to do with it? Sounds boring."
Well, I suspect there are a great many potential practical applications of the science, once it is better understood, of course. The obvious rote possible usage of such a thing would be in wartime. The amount of physical manpower that could be attributed to a singular soldier converted such into a dragon form would be quite immense.
When you say converted into a draconic form, the prince's eyes kind of light up a little bit.
I've said the thing that sounds cool.
Yeah, exactly. And he starts to engage you in conversation specifically about like what a dragon could do.
Oh, am I going to be drawing his dragon sonar by the end of this video?
So you all spend a few hours at this banquet. Eventually, one of the guards engages you, Visera, and sort of gestures to the various symbols that you have on your person that denote you as a member of the Order of the Black Rose. This this guard who has been relatively quiet throughout the whole thing, but the guards have been eating. They're there for like the protection of the prince and the princess, but they're also like they're there as guests as well.
Man's gotta eat. Man's gotta eat.
So one of the guards sort of turns to you and engages you in conversation for a moment and says, Those emblems, my friend, my small friend, they are of the Order of the Black Rose, are they not?
That is correct.
Tell me, I don't hear much from the city of Necroneer these days. Tell me, is the Order still operating down?
Well, we're not quite as prevalent as we used to be.
I understand that. No, If you happen to be going that way at some point, could you take a message for me?
Sure.
Wonderful, wonderful. And the guard sort of pats their pockets for a moment, pulls out this very small scroll case. It's like maybe 2 inches long, but it has a small symbol of like crossed swords over behind the head of a sort of lizard dragon type thing. It's this tiny little thing with a wax seal, and he sort of hands it to you and says, make sure that this gets to Master Odna Avalinta. Odd name, I know. She's originally from the eastern parts of a completely different continent. But she became a member of the Order of the Black Rose, and it has been a few years since I last spoke with her, and I would like to know how she's doing. So if you could deliver that for me, I would be most appreciative.
He nods. I will do my best.
Wonderful, wonderful. What? Another matter. Your name? You said your. What? You. Have you heard of a knight called Joaquin Ochiva? I think is his name. It has been a long time since I met him, but I do not often get out of this city. Do you happen to know this knight?
Kind of pauses for a second and looks away before just simply nodding.
Wonderful. Well, how is he doing these days? He when I was younger, he assisted in my training here in the capital.
I'm sorry, repeat that?
He assisted in my training here in the capital. How is he doing these days?
Well, I wish I could tell you. I'm actually currently searching for where he went.
Searching for him. He left Necroneer?
Yes, we actually used to live together, but I came back one day and there was a note telling me not to look for him. I ignored it, of course.
Well, of course. If someone disappears under mysterious circumstances, it's only natural to go and search for them. No, I understand completely. Yes. Well, if there's anything that the Guard Corps here in Perrenholm can help with in your search, well, consider us at your disposal, especially after your assistance with today's matter.
That is very much appreciated.
Yes. The guard seems relatively young to be in the role of what seems to be a vice captain in this sort of chamber. He seems hesitant on his words. But he seems pleased that he can help you with, or he can try and help you, and that he's found someone who might know others that are members of the Order of the Black Rose. Welcome, Zarian, by the way.
Hello, I'm here. I'm not dead.
You're
Hello!
Congrats. I need to move your portrait a little bit.
Okay.
There we go. Right. So, to recap very quickly, you guys are at the sort of the formal informal dinner with the High Regent, the Prince, one of the princesses, and some guards who are just generally conversing. Not much time has passed, but you have imbibed, you have loosened a little bit. There are only 2 guards in this room with you at the moment, and everyone is liberally availing themselves of the various different foodstuffs and drinks, except for the princess, who has been restricted to what is some form of sort of dark red juice.
Slurp.
Yeah, that about sums up the most recent events. The prince and Darren are in a deep discussion about dragons at the moment. Visera and one of the guards has been chatting about an organization called the Order of the Black Rose. The princess has been attempting to engage Casimir with little to no effect. The dragon seems unbothered by the princess's attempts to pet him.
Aww.
And after the regent has finished talking to Darren, he turns his attention to you, librarian, and sort of turns to you and says, well, I understand your colleague researches draconic transmutation. Is that what you're here for as well, my friend?
No, I study the history of I'm an anthropologist, an arcanthropologist.
An arcanthropologist. Really now? Roll me a deception check.
Yes, it's the study of arcanthropy. It's when you turn into magic whenever there's a full moon. I am not saying that in character.
I got a 10.
A 10. Okay. The High Regent smiles at you. The smile feels a little bit fake. But he persists. He says, really? Well, tell me, what is the study of arcanthropology, if I may be so bold?
Oh, it's the study of arcade arts, technologies, and the people that employ them.
Indeed.
Essentially, a kind of roundabout way of saying, like, the holistic view of magic as a whole, really.
The holistic view of magic. I don't think I've ever heard anyone describe magic as holistic.
Well, it's less describing magic as holistic and more the holistic view of magic itself, how it influences everything around it.
The High Regent seems a little confused for a moment as he considers your words. He sort of taps his chin for a second. The interconnectedness of all magic.
It's similar to types of anthropology, you know?
Well, yes, I understand that. That seems to be where the word originates, but I don't know, you don't really strike me as an, shall we say, arcanthropologist. Especially wearing the librarian robes you do.
Oh, this old thing? Well, I would not actually be wearing the robes at this point. I would be wearing something completely different. So either you're very perceptive and can see the past outfits I've worn, or that's wrong.
You told me that you are wearing a similar robe to your librarian robe, just more embellished.
I said that it was a different robe, though. Like, it has
It
the
is-
same
it is
color
a different
scheme,
robe,
but it's a
but
different
it's-
robe. Like,
It's a
it's
different
not.
robe, but it's still in the theme of the librarians. It's still like in the styles of the library, essentially.
In that case, can I make a deception check to basically be like, oh no, I was just influenced by that garb because I have a great respect for
Sure.
them?
Sure. Yeah. I'll allow that.
10. What the fuck, game?
I'm not part of that group. I'm just culturally appropriating it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The High Regent kind of raises his eyebrow at your explanation, and says, "Well, tell me, what have you heard of? Because as an arcanthropologist, I assume you must have an understanding of varying sort of, shall we say, cultural mythos. What have you heard of a space of learning called the Wandering Library, might I ask?"
I guess this is gonna be like another deception check.
Depends what you want to say.
Yes, I've heard of the Wandering Library. It's referenced through many different historical texts throughout the last century or so, right?
I thought that was a myth. I've heard tell only of it in legend.
It's in some historical texts. It's referenced quite sparsely, but it's there.
According to legend, the door to the Wandering Library appears to those who seek knowledge without, shall we say, without reason to cause destruction. It appears to those of innocent souls, and provides the knowledge that you shall always seek, but never any more than that. It's a very old tale, dating back from the second calamity. It's interesting. There have been records that the original Wandering Library was once chained to the city of Praxis. It was, according to myth, because all we have to go on is myth and word of mouth these days. When Praxis was destroyed, the Wandering Library vanished into nothingness, and then slowly over the centuries has appeared to random wanderers in the most unlikely of places. There is tell that once the door appeared here in Farrenholm, and a member of our society tried to remove a book from the library. The door slammed shut on the man before he could leave, and has never returned to this place since. So,
Goodness,
I
that's
am
quite
not
frightening.
entirely certain as to the truth of these rumors, this mythos, if you will. But as far as I can tell, they are most intriguing myths, especially if the Wandering Library were to prove to be real. Knowledge like that, handed down over centuries, well, it must be quite powerful. He sort of takes a long, slow sip of his wine.
Well, that's quite the story you've been weaving there. You seem to be very interested in this specific myth. Is there a reason why it's captured you so?
I am
Designs of your own, then, eh?
I'm a patron of knowledge myself. The library here at the Royal Academy is probably nothing in comparison to the libraries of the Three Mage Towers, and even less so the Wandering Library itself. But I covet knowledge in all its forms, and I like to ensure that all have, to a degree, access to it. Though some knowledge is more dangerous than others and must be kept safe and secret. I can understand that much. And I suppose that is why the Wandering Library is, well, so mythically revered in its way.
Yes, it does appear.
I can certainly address to that.
Well, still, I actually had a small business proposition to discuss with you all. If you don't mind me derailing dinner for a moment.
It's fine with me.
I will put down my drumstick.
I pick up a drumstick.
You steal the drumstick from Darren's plate when Darren isn't looking. What's your passive perception, Darren?
Let's see. My passive for perception is 11.
11. Roll me a stealth check, librarian. Sleight of hand, actually. Roll me sleight of hand.
Oh, that's possibly even worse.
Let's see. Yeah, it is worse.
You've only got to
18.
be
Okay, game.
the-
Something I have a +6 on, 10. Something I have a +2 on, 18.
Having been caught unawares by the High Regent's sudden proclamation, you do not notice, Darren, as the drumstick that you had just put down vanishes into the folds of the librarian's ornate robes. The High Regent continues. As you five may be aware, recently we had a slew of crime here in the city, including a murder of a state official and a kidnapping, shall we say. Now, we have reason to believe, and he looks around, gestures to the captain of the guard, who's been very quiet this whole time. The captain of the guard nods, puts a large sort of orb down on the table and clicks it. And you watch as this orb sort of goes and sort of these large spikes come out of the side of it. The whole thing starts to rotate, spins, clicks into place, and then you will feel this bubble of sort of not necessarily silence envelop you, but it feels like the world around you suddenly gets a lot less loud. The sound of servants in corridors, the sound of dishes and various things being moved around, it all gets muted all of a sudden. And the High Regent sort of nods to the guard captain and turns back to you all and goes, recently the princess, the eldest princess of the Deferran family, was kidnapped. Now, seeing how you all handled yourselves earlier today in the library, considering that our scribe is still alive and for the most part unharmed, I would like to hire you, shall we say, commission you, as it were, as adventurers, as I know you to be, to find her. We have reason to believe that she is still somewhere in the castle. Her kidnapper has left traces, and we do not believe it has been long enough for the kidnapper to rest and be able to leave the castle grounds. So we believe that she is still somewhere here. However, we are not properly equipped to search the castle without alerting people to our presence. Our knights are trained for combat, not necessarily for stealth. I am impressed by your ability to, shall we say, persuade me of your trustworthiness. However, I'm fully aware that you are not a group of researchers. Well, most of you aren't. I apologize, Professor, if this is news to you. But the rest of these people are actually members of an adventuring party called the Thesians. He sort of...
I'm just gonna furrow my brow at this accusation and look around at everybody.
And he sort of gestures from the shadows as someone else steps into the room. Stepping forth from the shadows, wearing heavy, dark armor and a sort of a short sword over one shoulder, steps forth none other but the person who is known to you all as Isaac Galmet.
Mother fudge.
Son of a hog weasel.
Huh?
I swear, every time we're 80% of the way through actually pulling off a con, he shows up and spoils the whole thing.
Ingvar just grabs a drumstick and just tosses it at him. Asshole!
Roll me an attack.
Well, you're the ranger, you should be good at a
How much
throwing weapon.
damage does a drumstick do at max?
Depends on how fast you throw it, I
Well,
guess.
it depends if it hits him first. That's the
Cast speed of light drumstick at 8th level.
Add your dex modifier to that.
I'm looking at the wrong stats. That would be a 5, so that's 13.
13. Isaac sort of dodges to the side. The drumstick sails over his shoulder. He looks a little irritated by this, but not enough to comment. He sort of turns to the High Regent and goes, they're all members of the Thesians, my lord. All of them. All of them are... Well, except for that one. And he points to you, Visera. That one I'm not familiar with. And the High Regent sort of turns to you and Visera and goes, well, as a member of the Order of the Black Rose, I can't help but feel somewhat trusting of you. I don't suppose this will be a problem. And he sort of stands by his chair and turns to you all and says, if you complete this goal with returning the princess to us, I will grant you each 1,000 gold pieces and a request of your choosing. If you manage to capture the kidnapper alive, I will double that, shall we say, offer.
2,000 gold, 2 requests.
2,000 gold and 1 request.
One request each?
1 request each.
Do you have any leads?
The last the princess was seen was in the Royal Academy Library. We suspect that the kidnapper may have come in through the basement and taken her from there, but no one saw her taken. All we know is that she was there one moment and gone the next. And
I spent a fair bit of time in that library recently. Did I spot anything that might have seemed out of place?
You weren't looking for anything that seemed out of place, but you also haven't been to the library's basement. So you haven't been to the lower levels of the library yet.
So she disappeared in the basement, right?
From what we've been able to gather, yes. We've
What
tracked...
was the last book displayed on that pedestal in the main hall? Before the one that caused the incident today.
He sort of gestures to someone who is standing outside the bubble, a scribe of some sort, who walks in. He whispers to them in their ear. The scribe whispers back, and he sort of looks up and says, "The last tome that was found on that pedestal was a small volume with a curse that is not particularly... He pauses for a moment. Thinks, well, yes, that would actually make sense. The tome causes the reader to become invisible for 24 hours. And is essentially harmless for the most part. Usually, if the pedestal was intact, it would not affect the reader. However, our investigation earlier today found that the pedestal had been tampered with. So, in that instance, yes, the tome would have an immediate effect on the reader should they touch it. It would certainly... That would certainly be a possibility, yes. But we are aware that the princess is still on the castle grounds. We have a detection spell in place that has directed us to somewhere within the castle, but it is highly inaccurate. At long distance, it's helpful, but in such a small area, we can hardly tell where she is.
Well, we may be able to help with that.
I'll need to be having a word with my compatriots here after this, but I believe I am owed some amount of authority to take this charge. And I'm sure I could find some good use for such a favor. Everyone else is BRB.
Everyone else is BRB.
They just head down in their
Amazing.
plates.
Mm-hmm.
I've just been eating this whole time, not paying attention.
Well, Prod kind of just stands up and says, "I'm in."
It sounds like a good game of hide and seek. I'll play.
That is the second bot today. And like the
I just
fifth
keep
bot in
summoning
the
them.
past 5 days. Apparently I'm the one getting bots in the chat at the moment. Oh, well. That's fine. Okay. So, Prod is on board. I guess we'll take a 5-minute break. And we'll be back when everybody else has returned.
Sorry.
Yeah. 5-minute break, everybody. Might as well. We've already been in for about an hour, so.
Eepiest.
And we're back. Quick 5-minute break, just for everybody to recompose themselves. Right. So, the High Regent has offered you all the job. The pay is 1 favor from the High Regent of a country, and 1,000 gold if you recover the princess, 2,000 gold if you recover the princess and the kidnapper alive. And that is 1,000 gold each, I should stress. Prod has already agreed. What are the rest of you deciding?
Hell yeah.
Honestly, a bit of 1,000 gold each is a bit of a low ball, honestly, for a whole princess. Like, we couldn't even afford these outfits on that.
Are you saying this to the man?
No, I'm doing telepathy. Don't worry about it. I'm whispering it into my head.
Are you saying it?
I'm doing a
Is
message.
this in character?
Yeah, I'm doing a message to people.
Okay, so as a note, message requires you to say things out loud under your breath.
Yeah.
You can also whisper them, though.
You can whisper them. That
But you're
doesn't
also
mean
right in
people
front of the
won't
man.
hear you.
Oh, I'm like at least, 4 seats down at the dinner table? I'm at waspy distance.
You're like 25 feet away.
Which is that cumulatively? Can we figure out the economics of one princess?
Well, cumulatively,
1, 2, 3,
you're
4,
getting
5,
5,000 gold minimum if you return the princess.
10k maximum. Okay,
One
that's
second, I'm Googling
quite
something.
a lot.
10k maximum, and like each of you get a favor from basically a king. So
Favor, please give me more money.
You don't need
Okay.
money though, you need souls.
Souls.
or a way to get to the plains of hell.
I just need
Yeah.
to figure out how to kill Asmodeus.
What?
Oh, things have happened, don't worry about it.
A lot.
You'll learn more about this as we go, Dusty.
Awesome.
Okay.
for the moment, I think the 1,000 gold, 2,000 gold, whatever, is like not really the main thing we should be interested in here.
Probably, yeah.
Like, that's payment for services rendered, but I think the favor for each of us is the really big thing. That might as well be a wish.
Yeah.
Well, not quite that powerful, but
It might as well be.
If it was a witch, I could use it to kill this fucking contract.
Like, I think it's reasonable. More importantly, I don't think we're necessarily in a position to negotiate a higher fee.
True.
Since I'm
Bring out my
presuming
abacus.
Isaac has just spilled every bean we could potentially negotiate with.
well, not every bean, but he had you procured directly, essentially. The fact that you infiltrated the castle just made his job easier.
Okay, I guess we're up for it then.
DNPC powers. Right, we will take the job, I guess.
Okay. High Regent sort of smiles at you all. He looks happy, shall we say. And sort of nods and says, well, all right then. I suppose we should start with the scene of the crime. Additionally, as I was saying earlier, we tracked someone through the passages in the castle. We're not entirely certain who they are. We have assumed that it is either the princess or the kidnapper. And at the best... Oh yeah, when you guys look out the far end of the throne room, you can see the masts of a really tall ship. Sure, let's
Lucian,
leave that there.
how many like jigsaw pieces is that ship made of?
Too many.
You don't want to know. That ship is a lot. That ship is a
And
lot.
that's just scenery out the window, huh?
That's just scenery out the window. But it's also like something that I built for something else and am using as a prop, essentially.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, the High Regent provides you with a variety of different pieces of information, including that they have been tracking someone through the through some of the passageways in the castle. They have noticed that this person has always been dragging someone. So if the princess is alive, she's unconscious. And that the last place they saw the princess was the library. But that's all they really have to go on, other than this knowledge that the princess is still within the castle walls. Alright, what do you all want to do?
Well, let's see. Do we have anything that can reveal or at least detect invisibility?
I can see magic. I think I could see Blackwood when he was invisible before with it.
Yeah, you saw him as a kind of wibbly shape, if memory serves.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like I
you
could
can
get
see
the general area
aura
of them.
of an invisible person. Not necessarily their like full invisibility, but you can see the magic around them, essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess we go hunting with your very own seeing library.
Yep.
Okay.
Our own bloodhound.
Alright then. I shall take Prod. And Prod shall lead the way, because Prod is very excited about this whole thing.
Yeah, that's
Prod
fair.
wants to- Yeah, Prod.
Okay. So you all head to the Royal Academy Library, and Prod sort of leads the way down into the lower level, the large sort of basement, which I will say is actually filled with bookshelves. However, I couldn't be bothered to do more bookshelves. I'll do more bookshelves if it's required, but it's very empty. Who wants to helm this investigation check?
Let me see. My investigation is +8. Anyone beat that?
Probably
Let me
not.
see. I don't think so.
Mine's a flat
No,
nothing.
you have one more than me.
I know it's a +1 than mine, but still.
Right. Then I shall helm
But mine
the.
is
I shall helm the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. 20. Bump. 13.
Uh-oh.
13 is not nothing.
I was not laughing at the roll. I'm laughing at our fucking Noel doing a kickflip.
The kobold.
Yeah, sorry, kobold.
Yeah. Okay. You all spend a few hours searching through various passageways. Eventually, you... 13's not much.
Can I take advantage?
Can you... Technically, you're being assisted by your party, so yes, you can take advantage.
Thank Christ. Okay. Dice, don't fail me now. Okay, 24.
24.
There we go.
Okay. Okay.
24,
Eventually,
give it up for 24.
you manage to find what you think might be a secret passageway in one of the walls. You go down this sort of long corridor, but it just kind of ends in a flat wall. It's not nothing, Mal, but it's not much either. 13's below the good, essentially. You eventually
13
find...
is like 3 points above like the average of a roll, so it's not great.
Yeah. You eventually find a passageway, or what you think is a passageway. It looks like the stone around this section is slightly different visually. And when you press your hands against it, there's a very slight shift, as if it can be moved or swung or slid open. You're not entirely certain of the mechanisms around it. You do spot a few small loose stones on one of the walls that maybe might work as buttons or a combination or something. But it's kind of hard to decipher. It's quite dark down here. Your dark vision is helping, but it's still kind of difficult to see.
Oh. Anybody else want to poke closer at this?
Sure.
What do my magic eyes say?
There is no magic. That wall is a wall.
This is a very non-magical
Well-
wall.
Not everything is magical.
No. There can be
Wait,
natural
what about the
things in
friendship between us?
Oh, that's illusion magic. Extremely powerful.
Wow.
Okay, I will see if I can, like, find a switch or something here.
Okay. So you run your hands over these small sort of loose stones in the wall. Eventually...
Yes, as a dwarf, I'm very familiar with loose stones. Hashtag not racist.
I'm not entirely sure what you're inferring from that.
Stone cunning!
Yeah, I know that. I suppose I expected something a little more innuendo-y from you. You eventually, like, press down on this heavy-looking sort of stone that's sticking out very slightly from the wall. You press down, and the stone slides in, and then sort of rotates, and you see, like, essentially what looks to be some sort of riddle? You're not entirely certain. It looks like a small puzzle that sort of rotates and slides together to actually sort of make it open. And I'm going to lay this out on the floor for you real quick in something relatively visible. Give me a second. Okay. So, in the center...
I know that statue face in front of us. No one stick their hand in that.
I
Well,
would
why
imagine
not?
that'd be the
You
first thing
said it,
people do.
Dusty, get back here.
So I'm just gonna give you guys a quick visual of what this actually looks like at the moment. And this is essentially a visual puzzle for you guys to solve. This is not a thing that requires an intelligence roll. You just have to figure out how this is meant to look.
Oh, is this a move the sticks thing?
Well, at the moment it's like 9 tiles, and you can twist all of them, but there's a specific pattern that this tile is looking, that this sort of panel is looking for.
Well, I've got one of two ideas, but I feel like I'm either massively overthinking it or massively underthinking it.
I mean, it just looks like those arrow kind of pointed bits are corners that we need to rotate, and the middle bits would probably just rotate to be a straight line, maybe? But also it needs the cross, so that would need to be rotated by, like, 1 to go diagonal ways.
Can they be diagonal, or do they have to turn 45 degrees or 90?
90.
Okay.
Then you can only
So
the
the
turn
middle
them
one's going
90
to change
degrees.
nothing.
It doesn't seem like the middle one turns at all. Only the ones around the outside.
Okay, well, let's start with obvious solution number 1. All of the middle ones, so that they're, like, aligned to edges, rather than pointing away from the... Enclose the box
like
instead of
this?
having... Yes, exactly, like that.
Okay. Okay.
Is there any sign of anything?
No. Seems enough.
Give the middle one a bit of a tap.
You can't change the middle one.
Nope. Middle one does not move.
What if we change the 4 corners so that the arrow-like bits are behaving more like corners of a box than they are pointing inward?
So, like this?
Yeah. And just do that with all 4 of them.
Okay.
Or, yeah.
Oh, I accidentally stole the ceiling.
Well,
God, it's giving us daylight! Daylight!
And then I stole it away.
You put that ceiling back where
and they
you
said,
found
"Let
it.
there be light." And then God said, "Lol, never mind."
Okay. So you turn it to essentially this pattern. I realize that the pattern is kinda not like
Close enough.
it'll do. It'll do. As you turn the last corner and sort of set it in, you watch as the middle cross section sort of pops out, and sort of nothing else happens, but the middle cross section sort of pops up by maybe about an inch, and sits there.
Are we able to rotate it now that it's popped up?
Nope. It is.
Still.
It doesn't turn.
We push it back down.
You push down on the cross section. I would like you to make me a. Who's doing this? Very quickly.
I guess me, since I said it.
Okay. I would like you to make me a. I can't really say a sleight of hand saving throw, so I'll just say a
That would be a
dexterity
dexterity.
saving throw.
Oh dear.
Oh no.
I don't know what I missed because I just had to go quickly AFK,
That's a
but it
dirty
sounds like
20.
we're going downhill.
Dirty 20.
Oh, never mind.
Okay. You start by putting your palm on the cross section, and you think about it for a moment. And then you take sort of the sides of this piece and push down from the edges instead. And it's a good thing you do, because as you push the cross section down, you watch as the edges of the cross kind of drop into a point. If you had pushed down with your palm, you would have speared your hand through this thing.
Oh,
You push this sort of central section down and in, and you watch as this sort of small sharp spike sits up for a moment and then retracts down into the panel. The panel twists, you hear a click, and then the wall, that is, I should point out, over here, opens up. this wall in this tiny corner of the area just pops open. If I can select it. There we go. Just a
Adventure!
just a small sort of alcove pops open and allows... You are going the wrong way.
Oh, I thought that was the bit. Okay.
I thought that was the bit, yeah.
I pointed this out earlier. It is down here.
So that part's closed off.
It is not, actually.
Oh, no, okay, no. It's
like,
very,
okay.
very slight.
A small opening into a large circular chamber. That is, once again, like, for the most part, empty, as far as you can tell. Except for you, librarian. As you look around this seemingly empty space.
Oh,
there he is.
there you go.
There you go. And Prod comes along for the ride. As you all look around this seemingly empty space, librarian, you notice that standing, as far as you can tell, on the other side of the chamber is a figure. At least you think it's a figure, but you can't tell because they are shrouded in magic. There is a second figure lying beside them on the floor. And they're kind of sitting there. Well, they were sitting there at attention, but when you three, when the five of you stepped into the room, she stood up, or she or he stood up, and is sitting, sort of crouched on the other side of the chamber. But you are the only one who can see them, librarian.
Well, it looks like it's a dead end, folks. Oh dear. Maybe there's something over here. Where are they in the room right now?
So right now, they are approximately here.
And the figure that didn't stand up, are they on the right or the left?
They are on the... They're on the right.
Okay, I'm gonna go to the square between both of them.
I mean, like, there has to
I'm
be
just gonna be
something
like,
here, sure.
There must be something here. Can I make...
Roll me a deception check first.
Okay. That's a 19 deception.
19 deception, okay.
I would like to make a check to reach out and grab the one that didn't stand up.
Okay. Hold on, I need to think about how this is going to work. Okay. First things first. You walk across the room, giving a speech about how there's no one here. Person on the other side believes that you can't see them. So now you're going to try and reach out for the person who's lying on the floor.
Yeah.
Okay. Roll me... Are you go... What are you trying to do here?
Is there any way that I can grab both of them? Are they both within my reach?
They're both within your reach. You're standing right in the middle of both of them, basically.
Yeah, I'm not intending to harm any of them. I'm just intending to attempt to interrupt the invisibility, because I think, like, getting touched or, like, grabbed disturbs the spell, and I basically want to be like, don't fucking move, or I will cast the most horrendous magic you've ever seen
Isn't it
right
just
through
when
your body.
when you make an attack?
So, let me check the rules of invisibility real quick.
Yeah, I think it can be interrupted with, like, a spell or an attack, but I don't know what happens if you get attacked or, like,
Spell ends
grappled.
for a target that attacks or casts a spell. That's all it says.
do not trust you lying because you've been giving me 3.5e rules.
I'm specifically looking at 5e here.
Okay.
I learned my lesson the last time, okay?
Uh-huh. Here we go. Invisibility. The creature you touch becomes invisible until the spell ends. Anything the target is wearing or carrying is invisible as long as it's on the target's person. Spell ends for a target that attacks or casts a spell. You can grab them, but it won't interrupt the invisibility.
Okay, I'll still grab
Invisibility
them.
will only interrupt if the target attacks you. So you're gonna try and, well, it's gonna be a grapple check on one of them, because grabbing the other person is easy enough because as far as you can tell they're unconscious.
Okay.
So roll me an athletics check.
Oh boy, -2, baby.
-2.
No, as in, like, that's my modifier. I got
Oh, thank God.
Okay, what did you get?
Not much
Because
better, but oh, thank God.
I got an 11.
You got an 11. Okay, they rolled an 8, but they have a +6 modifier on Dex. And they're using acrobatics to avoid you. So they jump out of the way. You grab the first person, but the second person jumps out of your way. I am going to roll them a stealth check real quick. That is a... Stealth would be Dex, right? Stealth is Dex, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so that is a 7, 8, 9. That is a 19 on their stealth. If everyone can roll me perception real quick. Except for you, Zarian. You don't need to. You can kind of see them.
19.
19. Beats it. Okay.
Waiting for the dice to land. That's 20.
20. Okay.
And let's see, for me, perception, you said?
Perception, yes.
Okay, that's just...
Okay. I'm not going to roll for prod, because prod's not technically in the room yet. You, Visera, and you, Ingvar, as you watch the librarian grab for thin air, you hear the clink of something on someone's person and the sound of footfalls as they seem as something moves around, and you can kind of pinpoint where that person is.
Huh.
Can I cast Fairy Fire?
Yeah, that is an option.
I cast Fairy Fire. They are now outlined in a reddish light.
Okay. So I've done that to the wrong person. Hold on. I'm gonna very quickly set this up so that everything is properly visible. So, you cast Fairy Fire. This is the figure, kind of, that you guys can see. Do you cast... Where do you center this casting on? Very quickly.
Well, I presume on the figure, but it's a 20-foot cube, so I think it covers most of this room.
Yes, it would. 20-foot cube would cover a decent portion of the room. Yeah, no, it would cover that area. So I will
Basically,
say
like
that
2/3 of it.
this figure is also revealed, not down on the floor over here. Let's do very quickly. I need to grab obsidian to open that up very quickly, just so that I can get the correct name. There we go. These minis have not been renamed for some reason. There we go. Okay. So, this figure is now outlined in fairy fire. This sparkling sort of bluish, light bluish, not necessarily flames, but they're like little sparkles, essentially. Depending on the casting type, shall we say. And this figure is sort of outlined in this large sort of sparkling fire. And the first thing that, well, I would say, let's roll for initiative.
Oh no.
Yippee!
Oh boy. Why does Ingvar have just an X in the initiative order?
No
They
initiative.
don't.
Oh, the lad.
Huh?
11
11 plus 6.
Oh, dirty 20.
Yeah, nice.
Got a 9.
Okay, so give me 25 to 10. 25 to 10? 25 to 20.
20.
20. 20 to 15.
17.
16.
17 and 16. 15 to 10. 10 to 5?
Pensive pace.
5 to 0? Okay,
Dusty.
you must have got somewhere.
I got
in
a
that.
9.
You got a 9.
that was me.
Okay. Okay, that's fine. Alright. Librarian, you're up first. Your Fairy Fire was your surprise round.
Yeah.
Now you're in combat.
Note that the effect of Fairy Fire does not affect invisible creatures with the advantage, so they're just normal for it.
Hmm?
Fairy Fire normally gives you advantage against the target, except for invisible ones, it just negates their invisibility.
Yeah.
Let's see. We want to keep them alive, so I'm not sure if me going in with fucking magic and shit is the best bet, but I can do some support shit for you guys. Let's see. Yeah, I have Mind Sliver,
Okay.
which I think is... They have to do a intelligence saving throw, or take 2d6 psychic damage.
Intelligence saving throw. Alright.
Spell DC is 18.
Okay. Alright. So. Let's see. That is a 18 on that. So that
fail.
beats it.
Oh, I thought... Sorry, librarian, did you say 19 or 18?
18.
18.
18. Yeah.
Dang.
So beats it. So they... does it have any effect at a success?
Let me double check. Nope, it does not do anything.
Okay. So, you release this mind sliver, and you watch as the figure sort of stumbles a bit, but doesn't seem phased by this. And they're up next, unless you want to do something else.
I don't think I can, so that's my turn.
Okay. Well, in that case, the figure is going to pull out a pair of long knives. And you all can see, to a degree, the weaponry that this figure is using. And since you can see them, and you cast a spell on them, or tried to at the very least, Librarian, they're going for you first. So.
Okie dokie.
Fine by me.
Let me see. I need classes, page 70.
Oh no, that's the Avatar of God class page.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Here we go.
Imagine not just having 40 different tabs open at all times.
I like the book, alright? I like the book. It doesn't update itself every other day. Okay. This person is going to do 3 attacks on you, Librarian. With a 3, which is set to 9, an 11, which is 17, and a 7, which goes to 13. Do any of those
The
hit?
11 and the 13 hit.
11 and
The
13
9 does not.
hit. Okay. So, you step back. The figure lashes out at you, and as they do, their spell breaks. The invisibility breaks. You can now all see this figure, wielding 2 vicious-looking long knives that have sort of this curved end. They are a, from what you can tell, human woman with long silver hair, an eye patch over one side, face scarred right across this sort of section here. They are dressed in dark leathers. They have a variety of sort of what look like mechanical augments across their body. You notice that one of their hands is mechanical. As she's slashing at you, she brings these knives forward. One, the other, both. She is going to do her attack. 9 points of damage plus 6 points of necrotic damage.
That's a
on
9.
the first attack.
Not to make this worse
sorry.
for you, Librarian, but that was a 9 that you just rolled.
Sorry, 9
Yes.
points. 9 points of slashing damage and 9 points of necrotic damage on the first attack. And then she is going to do 14 points of slashing damage and another 4 points of necrotic damage.
Well, it was nice knowing you.
Okay, I Hellish Rebuke.
Okay.
Understandable.
And also I'm on 10 fucking health.
Oi!
Well, welcome to the next fun character that you guys are going to meet. Okay, so Hellish Rebuke. Remind me how that works again.
I get to use it as a reaction. It uses my highest spell slot since it's a warlock, and
Yep.
it basically does damage to them. Let me just figure out
Okay,
what spell
so
slot I
how
have
much
for.
damage is it going to do?
That does... Oh, it's a dexterity save as well, actually, so you need to roll that.
Okay, that's fine. I can do that. That is a 13 to save.
That is a DC of 18, so you do not save, which means you take 29 damage total.
29 points of damage. The figure slashes at you with these long knives, and you feel this energy burst from your chest as they sort of step back, knives in hand. The damage sort of blasting across them and over the knives. Okay. So that was your reaction, right? So they are going to go for their action surge.
Oh no.
And they are going to... Well, yeah. And they are going to use... Yeah, they're going to step back from you, and they're going to cast invisibility on themselves again. Well, no, fairy fire is still in effect on them, isn't it?
Yep.
No, it's
Yeah.
not.
It's not?
It's not?
Actually, no, it ends on my turn, doesn't it? Because I failed my con. I failed my con save.
It would fail. The spell would fail when you fail your Constitution check.
Yeah, so it's off
If
now.
it's concentration. Okay.
So otherwise, they
so
would. Yeah.
they're going to pull back, and they're going to put themselves back in invisibility. And they vanish from your sight. You can still see them, Librarian, as this sort of faint, shimmering aura of magic. But the rest of you have lost sight of them, and Fairy Fire is no longer in effect. Darren, you're up.
Heck. Right. I don't have a whole ton of options here. I could try using sleep, but I'm pretty sure it requires me to point at the target.
It
And also
requires you
it-
to see the target.
Yeah, and I'm also gonna take a wild guess and say this guy has multiple hit points, so
Probably.
that's not gonna be much use. Let's see. What do I want to do here? I don't really have a whole. Okay, Acid Splash would be an obvious one, except that it doesn't let me just do it wildly. I don't really have anything. Okay, I'm gonna move over to
You
Librarian.
can still try and attack invisible targets. You just have disadvantage on the roll.
I also don't know where he is, so I don't know where to attack.
Yeah, that's the part of the disadvantage.
Yeah. I'll move up to you and take a defensive posture, I guess.
Okay, so you're holding an attack, right?
Yes.
Okay. Ingvar.
I fear I should mention, have alert. Therefore, I don't, other creatures do not gain advantage on attack rolls against me as a result of being hidden from it. Which I believe invisibility would logically count as.
Yep, that's fine.
Just putting that out there.
Yeah, they won't get advantage of it on attack. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. Ingvar, you're up next.
Well, he can't really do a lot if he can't see them.
Well, you can do something, but that's up to you.
Let me have a nose.
Casper,
Oh wait,
breath weapon.
Lucian, this is important actually. Did they move out of my range when they were invisible?
Yes.
I get an opportunity attack on them because I can see them.
You do. Actually, is an opportunity attack a reaction?
I don't know, actually.
I think it might be. 196.
It
To
apparently
make
is.
the opportunity attack, you use your reaction, yeah.
Yeah, and you've
Damn.
used your reaction on Hellish Rebuke.
Oh well. Well, at least I know I can do that.
Yep.
Yeah, no, it's a good shout, but you know roughly where they are in the room at all times. But
I just point as if I can.
okay, Ingvar.
Considering
Yeah.
that the only magic the man's got is bloody cure wounds.
That would be helpful right
semantic.
now.
Oh, yeah, yes, that's actually a point.
Yeah, like magic needs sight, but you can just like wail on an empty space and hope you hit the dude.
Oh, I could cure wounds the librarian.
Yeah.
Yeah, who's currently
I
very low on
guess.
health.
Yeah, I've got a bloody tiny room. So he's gonna scoot over here. And I am going to... Where the fuck is cure wounds gone? Because Ingvar's got it at the second level.
That would be good actually, because I could absolutely just be one hit next round.
Mm-hmm.
So a creature you touch regains a number of hit points equals to 1d8 plus your spell casting. Oh god, what the fuck is my spell casting? Is that wisdom or intelligence?
Your spellcasting modifier would be probably in. What is the spellcasting modifier for rangers?
Presume wisdom?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
That's me thinking of 3.5 again, but that might have stayed true in 5e. NCS says wisdom.
Okay, yeah, wisdom.
So that's second level will be 2d8. Is that plus? Is that the wisdom to just one or to both? Like both. roll?
It's you add the wisdom after you roll.
Ah, right. So he's gonna waltz over to the librarian. He's going to use cure wounds at the second level. Plus 3. So that's 12.
That's 12 points. 12 hit points you get back, librarian.
Nice. Thank you.
Okay. Right, you still have a bonus action. Lydia. Ingvar.
Can I just defend with that, or does that not count?
You can take the dodge action, I believe, right?
Yeah, as a ranger you can take the dodge action. Don't think you can defend.
Well, he can prepare to dodge then, I guess.
Okay. In case
Dodge,
you get...
duck, and dive.
You will dodge. Okay. Right, Kazma's up next. So, still on you, Ingvar.
Oh, Christ.
What does
Well,
Kazma do?
He's gonna follow in the general direction. It was...
We know he's within like 10 feet of my left side, basically.
Yeah, so like... around here somewhere.
Yeah.
I
Or at least
will
he
allow
was when
you
I
a
last saw
free
him.
action, Librarian, to let your party know where they are currently.
I point over there.
And that over there would be somewhere here.
Hmm?
They did have a move.
Oh.
Oh, so they did. Heck. the librarian is just that one survivor on the Dead by Daylight survivor team that I absolutely despise. They just follow me around and tell their entire team what I'm doing.
Well,
What's
he's
the generator? There.
Yeah.
Well, he's gonna try, cause he's gonna try breath attacking that area, and he might hit something.
Okay. So, let's see. Breath attack. How far is that? 20 feet?
This creature-
ish?
10 feet.
10 feet. Okay.
Rough enough.
About a 60-degree cone, I think. Should probably be enough.
Yeah.
Okay. Roll. I need to roll dex, don't I? I wanna. Is that what it is?
It doesn't say on here, I don't think.
Hold on. Let me take a look.
It just says this creature gets free a breath of 10 feet during a line of 2d4 of damage according to its subspecies type.
Yes, it's a dodge. Against Earth. It's a dodge, yes. A dodge for half damage specifically. So that is a 15 to dodge.
Yeah, that's probably a dodge.
Using the dex modifier for the breath attack. I think.
Yeah, that will
so
only that'll be
that's-
+1, so
that
that
is-
was 10.
Okay, well, roll the damage, which is 3d6 lightning by the look of it.
Whoop!
Okay, 7 points of damage. The figure takes not much, but it's a bit. 4 points. It's enough. Visera, you're up.
Wah!
It's your turn.
Is the figure on the floor still visible?
Yes.
Awesome. I'm gonna go over there and look at it with my eyes.
They are a young woman, maybe about 17 years old-ish, wearing fine red robes with a sort of golden necklace around their neck and a small tiara.
Oh.
Almost
they-
like a princess.
Yeah, almost. Are they injured at all?
Not as far as you can tell.
Okay. Oh.
What are you doing? All of
Um.
that was just movement.
Hmm.
And you have like 15 feet of extra movement on top of that, so.
Hmm.
I might recommend that Prod moves into the doorway.
Oh, it's not
In their
Prod's
next
turn yet.
I know, but I'm just saying that's probably a good idea because right now they can just run right out and we'd never know.
Hmm. Right. Well, I can't see the other guy, can
Nope.
You cannot see them, but you do know sort of where they are.
I? Okay. Hmm. I don't really have anything.
You have a lot of stuff at your disposal. It's just a matter of knowing how to
You
use it.
can attack. You can try to attack him. You'll just have disadvantage.
I'm just gonna sit here with the guy on the floor.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Make sure they're good.
Prod is going to stand guard in the doorway. Because that is what you guys asked Prod to do. Librarian, you're up.
Okay. I can see them, right? Like, where they are
sort of.
currently?
Yeah.
Like, I can see their outline, basically.
Yeah.
Is it within reason that I would have a pot of ink on me?
As a librarian,
so,
probably.
yeah.
Yeah.
I would like to fucking, basically splash the pot of ink on them.
Roll me an attack.
What kind of attack?
Just a ranged attack. So use your dex as your modifier.
Okay. Well, 5 plus 2, 6, 7.
7.
Yep.
You throw a pot of ink, and it sort of weakly splashes on the floor.
Okay.
Great.
They were either not close enough, or you just... Your throw wasn't very strong.
I mean, it wasn't intending on throwing it. I was kind of like wanting to spill all the ink on them, which is why I said like splash
They
them.
are
But yeah.
not next to you. Like, if you want to actively go up and, like, do so, it would be... It'd still be a dex thing, but they're gonna, like, on a 7, that's not gonna hit. I'm sorry.
Okay. I know where they are, right?
Yes, you do.
I continue pointing with my free action at them.
Okay, you still have a
and
bonus
I
action.
cast Sanctuary.
Sanctuary. Okay. What does Sanctuary do?
Prevents people from attacking you.
Yep, I cast it on myself. It lasts for 1 minute. Until
Wow.
the spell ends, any creature who targets the warded creature with an attack or harmful spell must first make a wisdom throw. Or a wisdom saving throw, rather. On a failed save, the creature must choose a new target or lose the attack.
Okay.
So we all probably want to get away from the library.
Okay. No, that's an interesting one. Because they are going to go for you again. The next attack is a 14, and they're going to break invisibility to
Does
attack
that then proc my attack?
you. Yes.
For my
would.
defensive posture?
Yes, it would.
Okay. Heck.
Did the other
Ah.
two within 5 feet also get opportunity because they just moved in and they're visible now?
No, it's when you move out.
That's
Okay.
15 for my attack.
15. 15, you throw your knife forward and up, and try and get it under the sort of leather jerkin that this figure is wearing. It just misses. Doesn't quite manage to hit. This figure rolled an 8 on their wisdom saving throw. With a +4, so that's a 12. Librarian. Is that
12 does
what
not
was
meet
the
it,
DC?
it's an 18.
18.
Cool.
Okay. And is going to go for the next person that they see as a proper threat, which is you, Visera, because of the markings
Yippee!
on your cloak. And is going to unleash 3 attacks on you. So that's a 24 to hit, a 17 to hit, and a 19 to hit. What is your AC?
Huh?
What is your AC? Armor class.
Should be like
16.
yeah, there.
16. Okay. So, those all hit, I should point out.
Great.
Do you have anything that could negate some of this?
I can't wait to die instantly.
Nope, you do not. So, this is going to be
Painful.
probably
Oh.
22 points of slashing damage.
Ouchers.
And 7 points of necrotic damage.
29 total.
Yep. 29 points of damage as this figure brings out their knives and unleashes on you, having been unable to get through the psychic barrier surrounding the will of the librarian. They cannot take an action surge again, so they are going to use a legendary action to
Oh boy.
disappear back into invisibility.
What?
They've been silent this entire time.
How
I
many
can't
sources
wait
of
to die
invisibility does
instantly.
this thing have?
However, I will say, in this instance, Ingvar, Visera, and the librarian, you all get opportunities of attack as they retreat away.
Kill.
Get the ass.
Ingvar and Visera, you guys are both at disadvantage. Librarian, you are not.
This is the point where I'd like to remind the party, as our seasoned people accidentally kill her, aim for their legs.
Right
And
now we don't have a
non-vital
choice
organs.
of where we aim.
I mean, their
Oh,
legs are
okay.
presumably on the floor. So, like, aim lower than their torso.
Or just hit the femoral artery.
Fuck's
God.
sake.
I mean, considering the weapon,
Anyway.
considering Ingvar's primary, not the weapon, the slashing weapon is the flail at the minute. Uh-oh.
Actually, is there an order to the attacks of opportunity?
I presume it's going to be just initiative order.
Okay.
Yeah, it'll be
in that case, I'm
initiative order.
first, I guess?
Yep.
Yeah, I would like to cast Fairy Fire. Again.
I suppose that works. I
That
guess
gives
you
the other
can do
two
that.
opportunity attacks, I guess. Maybe, or at least, like,
Well,
help
no,
them.
an opportunity attack is a reaction.
Yeah, it's a use of your reaction.
Oh, wait, yeah,
Yeah.
I can't do that then.
So no, it would have
Okay,
to
I'm just
be,
gonna
like,
fucking Eldritch Blast, baby.
It's still a spell though.
That's
An
okay.
opportunity-
Wait, really? I can't do anything aside. Oh, wait, yeah, it's a fucking reaction spell, isn't it?
It's it's a reaction. It's
Oh, I
More
forgot that
that will
spellcasters are
break
nerfed for that. Anyway, I fucking hit him with a stick, I guess.
you use your quarterstaff. Okay, roll me an attack.
8!
8. Any modifiers on that 8?
8!
Okay. You swing your quarterstaff just as you watch that visible aura pull away. It misses. Ingvar, you're up next on the opportunities of attack if you want to take one. You are rolling at disadvantage, remember.
So the lower of the D20.
Yep.
Yep. Oop, and there they go,
Into the sea.
as usual.
Oh,
So
nat
you got
20.
a natural 20, but you also got a 17. That's not bad.
Yeah.
Considering you have to take the 17, that's not actually a bad thing to take. Are you attacking... What are you attacking with in this instance?
The flail.
The flail. Okay, so you're rolling with strength.
Right. So that's a plus
Um,
4, so that's
Plus
21.
4. Okay, so 21 definitely hits.
Woo! That's
So
one,
roll
two-
me some damage.
That was the dragon again, but there you go. 9 plus 3 slashing damage, so that's 12.
12 points of damage. Okay.
Ah! Oh no, wait.
Hmm?
It's not extra attack because it's a reaction, never mind.
Okay. And finally, Visera, you just got stabbed by this person. You have
Ouchers.
an opportunity of attack.
Hit
You're
with
gonna
stick.
use it. Hit with stick, hit with quarterstaff? Okay.
Yes.
That is an unarmed weapon. Roll it. An unarmed weapon and a simple weapon. Roll an attack for me. With your
What?
staff. Roll an attack with your staff. So
What?
just roll a d20 for me. Okay, so that is... Wait, really? Oh. Wait. No, hold on. You're not rolling at disadvantage. Hold on.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no, that none of those hit. I'm sorry.
Yippee.
That's weird. I don't understand what. Yeah. I don't understand Roll20's rolling system, to be honest, but it's fine. Yeah. So you swing out with your quarterstaff, but very much like the librarian, you hit nothing but air. Darren, you're up.
I presume, librarian, you're still pointing out where this guy is.
Yeah, I'm just one hand's with the swinging staff, the other one's pointing.
Where does he look to be right now?
Currently, they are over here.
One orb at a time, please.
There.
Okay, right about there. Okay, right, well. We'll try to move to cut them off. And then I will try to move to cut them.
Okay. Roll me an
Yeah.
attack with disadvantage.
Yep, don't get the loss of advantage is only for them. Oi. Oh,
Oh,
nope, that ain't in.
That's a natural one. No.
Yep.
oh.
Mm-mm.
Nuh-uh. I'm sorry.
Let
Bonus action?
me see, what can I use this? I can't hex him because I need to be able to see him, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, you can see within range, damn.
Yeah. Oh, this is really not an opportune, not opportune circumstances for me. Can I declare my uncanny dodge on them? What do you mean by that?
when an attacker I can see hits me with an attack, I can half the damage. I'm probably gonna need that. Yeah. I've really got nothing. Okay, I'll spawn a mage hand. That's the most I can do.
You'll spawn a mage hand.
Yeah.
Okay. Ingvar, you're up.
I guess he's just gonna swing with a flail because he ain't got much other things to do.
Okay. You move up to where the librarian is pointing, and you swing a flail. Swing with disadvantage. Wow! You're rolling really well with that flail today.
Pity it's disadvantage both times.
Well, still hits.
Hmm.
If it's a +4, that's an 18. That barely hits, but it hits.
Nice.
So roll me some damage.
Yeah, 8. I forgot that for a second. And then he's got his extra attack.
Hmm.
I'm remembering these things.
6.
Probably
Yeah,
not.
that does not hit. So what's the damage on the first attack?
That was 8.
That was 8. Okay.
I feel like an idiot asking this. Does he look messed up?
Wouldn't you like to know, Weather Boy?
Oh.
The weather boy would in fact like to know.
Whoever be.
Anything for
Whoever
your
envy.
bonus action, Ingvar?
Prepare to dodge if he gets attacked, I guess.
Prepare to dodge. Okay. Kazuma's up next.
who needs to roll a 5 or a 6, I believe, to get his breath attack back.
Mm-hmm.
One d
I
6.
actually can't make a mage hand because that's a regular act.
Oh, we didn't get that back.
Well, he does have a bite action, remember that.
He does, yeah, so... No breath attack, but he can do a bite. See?
Mm-hmm.
Bite in
Roll
the
me a
general direction.
That'll be with the strength as a modifier.
Is that with
At
disadvantage as well?
Yes. That's invisibility for you. That's a 9.
Why he keeps using it.
9 with a
Yeah.
+3, so that's 12. That
Well,
does
that's-
not
no.
hit.
He's just nibbling on thin air.
Kazuma lunges for what he can smell, but it is not there. Visera, you're up.
Wah!
What is the monk doing?
Hit with stick?
Hit with stick. Okay, you know you can do more than just hit with stick, right?
Hit with stick.
Okay. I'm gonna steal an idea from earlier.
Okay.
I believe I still have a flask of oil in my inventory. Do I not?
Could you repeat that?
I have a flask of oil in my inventory still?
You do have a flask of oil in your inventory, yes?
Okay. Do I know the general location of the guy?
That is being pointed out by the library.
Alright. I'm gonna try to throw it on him.
Okay.
Again.
Roll me an attack. Yeah, roll me an attack with disadvantage.
Is this a throw or like a splash kind of thing? Like, are you just trying to aim at one spot, or are you just like covering an area and hoping he's in it? Because throwing it at him did not work out for us the last time.
I guess
Essentially,
kind of both.
do you want to do a direct attack or do you want to do an AoE?
AoE.
Okay. So if you throw an AoE, the person will need to do a dexterity save instead of you doing a specific thing. Which they fail miserably.
Yippee!
Nice.
You throw the oil, and it splashes on the ground between all of you. And the figure, you watch as, like, their legs and, like, part of their torso are suddenly just coated in this floating oil. And they are
That's like a go.
quite visible now.
Everything's coming up, Kobold.
Okay. You still have a bonus action. Do you want to use some key points?
Sure.
Okay.
Who just Yoshi'd?
So, the way
I'm
key
back.
points work is, as a bonus action, you can choose to use a number of key points to do specific actions, like Flurry of Blows, Patient Defense, Step of the Wind, etc., etc. Technically, throwing the vial counts as an attack, so if you want to, you can spend a key point to make an extra 2 unarmed strikes on the target.
Yes.
Okay, so roll me 2 unarmed strikes. With no disadvantage.
Yippee! Bump. Bump.
Okay, so that's a 21 and a 19. Both of those hit. So,
Woo!
roll me damage.
You got it. Twice or just once?
Twice.
Where is damage?
It's right next to unarmed strike. It's the damage type section.
Oh,
Wow, that's pretty good, actually. That's pretty good indeed. So you do 20 points of damage to this figure, who stumbles back a little bit as your monkly fists impact their body, and sort of takes you on in a new light. This small kobold, and is starting to become a little bit wary of you. You see a small bit of blood trickle from their mouth as you land these two fists into their torso, and you watch as they turn and they spit some blood onto the ground, and look at you all warily. Prod is going to join the fray now, because this person is visible, and is going to drive their necrotic greatsword into
Prod one hits this thing.
That is... Let me bring up
That's gonna be a hit for Prod.
character sheet real quick. So longsword is a +8. Wielding it two-handed, 3d6 slashing damage. That is 8 points of damage plus 8 points of necrotic damage, totaling in 16. Prod is going to bring the sword down again for a second attack. For another hit. Yep, that hits. For another 3d6 plus 8. That is 18 points of slashing damage. Taking these two sort of heavy blows to the back, this figure sort of turns around and is now facing Prod. Okay, Librarian, you're up.
Okay. Does this outline look like it's panting or having any trouble moving?
No.
Okay. I would like to do inflict wounds at 4th level.
Okay. Are you stepping forward to do so?
I am casting distance spell.
Okay. Roll me an attack.
Okie dokie. Hopefully won't murder them.
I'm fully prepared to sleep for the
That's
second
not
they look like
correct,
they actually
game, but thank you.
Hmm?
I just rolled it at 1st level for some reason.
Oh.
What line say?
I'm fully prepared to cast sleep on them as soon as it looks like they might actually be susceptible to it. But for that, we need to get them below 40 hit points.
Second, why does it keep casting at the wrong level?
I mean, just roll it in game and add the modifiers you need.
Oh, wait, that's why. I'll take the first one, sorry. That's a 13 to hit.
That does not hit.
Okay. That's it.
Okay. Wait, no, hold on. This isn't... Oh, no, it is. Never mind.
I don't know what's happened to my auto macro thing. It's just no longer working properly.
Okay. So yeah, you go for the inflict wounds, but the spell sort of bounces off this figure's armor. Do you want to do anything else? You still have a bonus action.
I can't really do anything on a bonus action, so I guess I will move away.
Okay. Next up, this figure is surrounded by a lot of different people. And a few of them have been causing trouble. So, Ingvar, you're gonna get attacks. 3 slashes with the knives. A 16, a 19, and a 9. Ingvar?
Oh, well, hi.
A
Sorry.
16, a 19, and a 9. Do those hit?
But he's almost class of 16, so...
Meets it, beats it.
Uh,
So 2 of those hit.
right.
Okay. So that is 24
Ow.
points of slashing damage and 3 points of necrotic damage.
Ouch!
So
It-
after doing that, they are going to consume another legendary action, and they're going to turn to you, Darren.
Oh
They're
boy.
going to try and disable you all. And, well, we'll see how that goes. And another 3 attacks. That is a 22, a 22, 21, and a 8.
2 of them hit.
Okay. So. Damage. 21 points of slashing damage. And 7 points of necrotic. Okay.
Getting better.
And that is... and they are going to... hmm. Oh, here we are.
Great thing about not doing this in a book, you can search.
Yeah, it's actually faster to search through the book, to be honest. There's an index.
Eh.
Okay.
Your typing speed, I
I've
guess.
got a name on stream now.
Yeah,
Congrats.
you do. Okay. So. As a bonus action, since they are... Yep, okay. They're going to quickly do this. Okay, good.
Aww.
And that is an extra 13 points of health to them as they use Second Wind. And now it is your turn, Darren. They
Right.
are fully visible now.
They are fully visible, and I'm indefinite flanking. So, not only do I get advantage, I get my sneak attack as well. It might be right to his face, but it's totally sneaky.
Well, it's fine. You
Yeah.
are technically
Still counts.
flanking.
What do you mean
Because there are
technically?
quite
He's surrounded on 4 sides!
Yeah, there are
5
quite a
if
lot
we
of you-
include the
There
dragon.
are quite a lot of you around, so yes, flanking.
Okay.
Can't keep her attention on all of you at the same time.
Okay, that is my attack. That is a Gargantuan de 20.
20 will hit.
Alright. That is then 5d6 plus 2.
Mm-hmm. Roll me damage.
Ah, do I put the hex on them first? Yeah, never mind. Anytime now, dice. 16 points.
16 points of damage, immediately negating their second wind.
Yep. How are they looking?
They are looking unfazed.
Oy. Alright, I will hex them then. My last action. Since I'm not moving. Actually, that's my bonus action. But bonus action hex, since I can actually see them now.
Yep. Okay, so Hex. Remind me what Hex does. Does it have any effect other than for your sneak attack?
Until the spell ends, I deal an extra 1d6 necrotic to the target whenever I hit them with an attack. I can also choose an ability for them to take disadvantage on ability checks with.
Okay.
I'm
what
gonna
ability are you
choose-
choosing?
I'm going to choose Dexterity.
Dexterity. Disadvantage on dexterity checks. Okay. Ingvar, you're up.
Well, now that he can actually see them, he's going to use his bonus action for Hunter's Mark,
Okay.
which I think works for the flail.
It works with any attack, I believe.
Yeah, that's fine. No more disadvantage. Oh, bonk. Yeet! I'm just going for the flail. Oh, that's not gonna hit.
That does not hit.
Whoop!
But you have a second attack, don't you?
Yeah. Try that one again then. Why does he keep rolling his chasm?
That's an 18. That barely hits. Barely.
One. Yep. Oh, for God's sake. That's like 9.
9 points of damage.
Ingvar feeling more and more useless by the day.
Okay. Kazma's up next.
It's okay. Ingvar comes with Dragon.
Well, Dragon doesn't want to use breath attack if he got it back in this close proximity, so I guess he's just going to try.
Well,
Oh,
With-
I mean,
I think there is a
attack.
decent gap behind us here.
oh, true.
yeah, like, breath attack is... Oh, that.
Oh, yeah, that
Like
would
that?
hit him. Just barely misses Darren. I gotta see if I can get it back first, though. Whoop.
Mm-hmm.
The ocean with his dice. 5 or 6, so that gets it back.
You have the breath attack back. Okay.
Yeah, so he's going
Kill.
to try. Ugh. Need to see if I can hit it first. Tailspire's confused about characters. That's plus. I want to see Dex.
Yes, it would be plus the dexterity modifier.
Yeah, that ain't gonna hit.
Well, no, it's a breath attack. I need to dodge it,
Oh.
not...
Oh, right.
That
still
is
not-
a...
It's a half damage.
That's saving throw, so it's not a disadvantage. Plus 6, so that's a 21 to dodge. So, half
Yeah.
damage.
Half damage.
Roll me damage.
So,
Okay. That is 3 points of damage.
I think the
Right.
dragon's broken.
Darken.
You know. Okay. Visera.
Ah.
Everything is in full view. It's your turn.
Flurry. Flurry.
You got it, boss.
So take an attack action.
Yep.
Okay. Roll me an attack.
Action economy. We win now.
Okay, 21 does hit. Roll me damage. 8 points of bludgeoning damage. And now, do you want to spend a key point?
Yes.
Flurry of blows. Roll me 2 more attacks.
Of the same one?
Yes, same one. And I want to very quickly check. Okay, so if you want to use, if you want, you can use Hands of Harm. Which means that you can roll an extra damage die on one of these attacks. to essentially poison them and do necrotic damage.
Ooh. I don't know if I want to poison them.
Okay, so one of those attacks does hit.
Epic.
So roll me damage on that. The poison is an optional thing if you want.
Yeah.
So if you want to just do the necrotic damage, you take away a key point and add another dice to your thing.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay, so roll one more damage thing.
Up.
Okay, so that's 16 plus 1 point of wisdom, so 17 points of damage. They're starting to look a little rough.
Good lord.
And they're starting to look a little wary of this small ragtag group. Prod is going to come in with 2 greatsword slashes, one of which is going to hit, which is a 3d6 plus 8. That is 6 points of slashing damage and 8 points of necrotic, which takes it down by 14 points. Librarian, it's your turn.
Eldritch Blast!
Okay, roll them.
Yes.
The first one is 30. Does that hit?
That definitely hits.
The second one is 15. Does that hit?
That does not.
11 force damage. Yay!
11 points of force.
I aim at their fucking ankles.
Okay. Alright. Any bonus action?
I move further away by the door.
Okay. The figure is starting to get antsy, and they're starting to feel a little bit cornered. So they sort of look over at the princess, who is lying unconscious on the floor. They pull out a small set of darts, and they throw them at the princess, who is on the floor, so they would have disadvantage on this. Very quickly, you have a reaction option here, Dusty. You can deflect missiles, but it does mean that you will take the damage of whatever these darts do.
I don't know if I have the health to do that.
So, deflect missiles, you can use your reaction to deflect or catch the missile when you are hit by a ranged weapon attack. When you do so, the damage you take from the attack is reduced by 1d10 plus your dexterity modifier plus your monk level.
Ooh.
If you reduce the damage to 0, you can catch the missile if it is small enough for you to hold.
Alright, fuck it, let's go.
Okay, so you spend a key
Darts
point to
also only deal
catch
1d4 damage increase, so...
the missile.
Fuck it, let's go.
Okay. So, that is a 10 to hit, but the princess is... well, it's 10. Her armor class is 10. It's not great. She's wearing a dress. And she's on the floor, unconscious. The...
Dresses can be armor-plated too.
Yeah, but she's a princess.
Dresses can
So-
be magically enchanted too.
Yeah, they can. Okay.
Yelline?
So, I need you to roll me 1d10 plus your dex modifier plus your monk level. So roll me a d10 real quick. You
Can I
do
do
it
that
in game.
in Tailspire?
Sure.
So
How?
press space and it'll open up a little dice menu.
Oh,
The D10
10.
is marked with a 10.
awesome.
Okay, so that is 1 plus...
Great.
You need to add the modifiers. So your dex modifier is 5, so that takes it to 6. And your monk level is 9, so that takes it to 15. So you negate 15 points of damage. However, these darts are a little more dangerous than that. So very quickly, 12. So you negate all the damage from these darts, and you
slap
catch
them right out the air.
You catch them specifically, which means they do not hit you. Seeing this, the figure is going to do the only thing they can do at this point to escape this situation, and they are going to lunge for the window. This means that all of you except Dusty, who was catching things, get an opportunity of attack. Except for you, Librarian, as well. You're a bit too far away.
Yeah.
I still get the advantage.
Uh,
I won't get sneak attack again this turn, but do I still
no,
get
it's
the
a
advantage?
reaction, so you don't get sneak attack. But yeah, you'd get a... Well, they're fleeing, so I'd say probably... They're fleeing, but you are flanking, so... Yeah, okay, sure. You get advantage on this for now.
Wahoo. Oh, come on!
Miss and a miss.
Really?
It's a miss, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. Prod is gonna take a swing.
Nat 20.
That is a nat 20.
Oh, no.
Okay. So that is 3d6.
Apropos of nothing,
double,
can anybody cast Speak
12
with Dead?
plus
Nope.
16.
Revivify?
Double no.
Oh boy.
30, 20, 28 points of damage from Prod. And Ingvar,
Yeah.
your opportunity of attack awaits you.
Whoop. Crap.
We have established you get advantage.
Yeah, you can roll one more.
Oh. Oh, I hit another one. Oh,
Never mind.
oh god.
Never mind. Okay.
Dice hate me.
So, the figure ducks and runs and hops up on the windowsill of this tower. And she is going to use
Another legendary action.
one more legendary action.
Ah.
Jesus Christ.
She pulls what looks to be a small vial from her belt, and she downs it. And suddenly, you all watch as her figure begins to shift and morph until she shrinks down into this tiny raven that hops on the windowsill, caws at you, and then flies out and disappears
Mother.
from you.
I
Whatever
should have
she
taken
said
that to
when
be.
she left, it was probably a swear word.
I should have taken that as like Chekhov's window. It's like I've seen this window this entire time. I'm wondering if they're gonna go diving through it.
The battle rests. It is suddenly quiet, the sounds of combat having left with this mysterious figure. You are all left in this empty chamber that may have once been a planned room of the castle that was simply sealed off, or it may be a part of a series of interconnecting systems. But for now, it is empty, and the princess still unconscious on the ground.
Can we examine her for injuries?
If somebody
Modestly, of course.
wants to do a medicine check.
Didn't I do that earlier?
No, you just looked at her.
Yeah.
You didn't do a medicine
fair
check.
enough.
You need to use an action to do a medicine check.
That's a 16.
Um,
Now the dice want it to be okay.
So that's a 16 with...
It's a 16 total for me.
16 total.
Medicine.
Okay. Probably should have let Dusty do that, but oh well.
Yeah.
So-
Man.
With a 16, you settle down next to her. You start to examine her body. She is in remarkably good health. You notice a few scratches around her wrists, from maybe manacles or something. And what seems to be marks around the crown of her head. Small beads of blood that have sort of gotten entangled in her hair. But she's breathing, and she's alive. Other than the fact that she is completely unconscious, she seems fine.
Librarian, can you have a look at her head?
Sure thing.
I don't know what you're going to be looking for exactly, but it looks like they did something.
Can I make an investigation or medicine check to see if they have a head injury?
I will allow... Are you viewing this from a medical perspective or a scientific perspective?
Medical, they're a person.
Okay, then medicine check. Yes.
That's a 5.
That is a big fat you do not know what you're looking at.
Cool, can I pull out the, whatchamacallit, Everlasting Lotus to see if this is a curse? Because I think that can cure that, right, if they hold it?
Very possibly. Let me take a look at what I wrote for the Everlasting Lotus. Because...
It's if they spend a long rest with it.
It has
So it won't do
additional
anything
effects.
instant. Yeah.
Player spends long rest with this item in their possession. They will be cured of any ailment, including poison, petrification, or disease. Cannot break curses, but it can abate the symptoms. So you bring out the Everlasting Lotus, and you do actually see an immediate effect. You bring it towards this figure, and you see... only you can see this, because you can see magic, but you start seeing strands of, like, dark, ethereal magic start to swirl around the lotus, pouring from these small points around her head, where this, like, little bits of blood are. And they sort of start swirling around and being sucked in by the lotus. It doesn't seem to affect the lotus itself, but you do notice immediately that the princess's eyes start to flutter open. She seems conscious, but not necessarily aware.
Hello? Hello?
Good morning.
Are you okay?
She does not respond.
Okay, so some kind of, like, sleeping beauty curse? Is that what we've got going on here, I think? The lotus isn't fully curing her.
Can I investigation this a little bit? I don't know.
Sure.
Not sure what I'm looking for exactly, but I'm at least good at investigation.
Yeah, sure.
Right. 19.
19. So you start looking over this woman's sort of scalp, and you part the hair here and there where these sort of blood spatters are, and you see what look to be small punctures, very small, very slight, not puncturing anything deeply, but just small, like, punctures in the skin of the scalp. What looks to have maybe been some form of circlet. And she is wearing a circlet, but the punctures are above the circlet itself. It looks like someone sort of dug their nails into her scalp, essentially. It's not fully, like, there's only like 6 punctures, but they're arranged in a way that is circular, essentially.
Looks like somebody or something grabbed her head really damn hard. Maybe there was some kind of injection? I'm not sure. She might... I think she's a bit beyond our care.
I mean, a curse is a type of magic, right? We could always
Yeah.
try the orb.
Could try the orb, but... 2 things. We can't guarantee it'll actually work. And if it does, we can't guarantee we'll be able to keep using it. And the other thing is, we might need to explain how we got the orb. Because we will have to keep it near her the entire time we're returning her.
Yeah, that's a good point. I guess we just bring her back to the main place then, and explain we found her like this and an assassin was trying to murder her.
Hmm.
I can carry her up if you want.
Sure.
Oh, we've got Prod, noted Princess Carrier Prod.
Prod sort of
True.
does this.
Prod flexes to affirm.
Prod flexes in dominance.
Can Inverno just be useful for once?
Sure.
Look at that. Man's got 18 strength. I'm pretty sure he could pick a princess up.
He definitely can.
Mhm.
So you do you princess carry? Do you fireman carry? Do you just throw over the shoulder?
I'll be
What do
gentle and carry her properly like a princess.
Princess carry. Okay. So you all start to make your way out of the out of this room. As the Everlasting Lotus gets further away from the princess, you notice that these energies sort of retreat back into her head, and her eyes flutter shut again.
Oh.
Okay, so you all make your way out.
What?
Ding dong.
Ding dong, the Dusty's gone.
That's the sound of the curse going back in.
Terrible.
So whoop whoop is the sound of the police, but ding dong is the sound of the curse. Gotcha.
Sure.
Actually, no, I just take the lotus away and it sounds like...
Honestly, given my canon, that's not too far off.
Oh god. Okay. So, you all make your way out of this deep dungeon of doom.
Camera, please.
Yay, no more deep Dungeon of Doom.
Head out of this section of the library, carrying the princess out into the courtyard, into the sunlight, where the High Regent is actually in deep conversation out in the courtyard with the captain of the guard. And he turns around to you all as you come through and says, "We heard a commotion. Is everything all Oh my goodness. And he sort of he directs various members of the guard to collect the princess from you, and says, "What happened?"
We managed to find our way into an enclosed space down there. There was an invisible guard as well as the princess. Fortunately, the guard appeared to be extremely well prepared, and they were able to get away. But we did manage to find the princess. It does appear that she has been, in some way, psychologically muted. I'm not entirely certain.
Probably a curse.
Possibly a curse.
We'll get someone on this immediately. That is, well, I'm glad that you managed to get to her before she was taken away from the castle. Thank you very much, my friends. That's most fortunate. I will see to it that she has the best of care. Of course. Right. Yes. As I said, I didn't expect this to be resolved quite this quickly, but as I said, I am at your disposal, and I shall have someone gather together your reward as well. Yes. Indeed. You have been most useful. Most useful.
The erstwhile kidnapper drank a tonic to transmute themselves into a raven and flew away. Is there any way that you might have to identify or locate such a creature?
A raven?
Specifically a raven.
That's odd. And he sort of turns to the guard. Do we have a way of tracking someone who turns into a raven? The guard sort of shakes his head, and the High Regent sort of sighs. Well, guess that's a mystery for another day. See to the princess, make sure that she's comfortable, and call the royal physician immediately.
Can I do some manner of like a perception check on the arch here?
On the High Regent?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, sure. What are you trying to perceive?
I'm trying to see if there was any hint of him knowing a person who can turn into a raven fashion there, because that reaction seemed a little bit.
That would be insight.
Okay, insight check then. Yeah.
Yes.
That reaction seemed a little. I don't know, a little transparent.
Mm-hmm.
Nice, be nice to me. Okay. That is a 17 total.
17 total. Okay. He's not hiding anything necessarily, but you get the sense that he's not telling the whole truth either. If he does suspect something, he's keeping it close to his chest because he doesn't want to let on that he thinks he might know what's going on. So you're not sure, but you think he might not be telling the whole truth. He's telling most of it, maybe not all of it.
I really don't want to burn my my request rewards on just getting him into a private spot to tell us the full thing.
But he does eventually turn back to you after conversing with the guard for a little bit and says, right, requests. Anything in my power within reason. I'm sure that you have some ideas.
Everybody else go before me.
Not it.
I have one.
Of course. Please.
I would like every single historical record or access to it of the Wandering Library and the place it originated from.
I would be more than happy to provide you that. I have a few tomes in my private collection that may interest you in that regard.
Wonderful.
And you, small one.
That's you, Dusty.
I know.
Dusty is trying to think.
Blows up. Could I request a search party?
A search party?
Oh.
Well, it's not the most unusual request. It's certainly something I can probably assist with, yes? Who or what are we looking for?
Well, he is a knight of the Order of the Black Rose. Kind of shows off the emblem on the back of the cape. Tall, dragonborn, has been missing for a while now.
I see. Well, we can certainly put out a few. I have a few people across the kingdom that can probably assist with that. It might take a few days, but we can definitely see what we can turn up.
Is very much appreciated.
And what about you, Mr. Svan? What is your request of me?
Oh god, these headsets. It's probably going to be a bit of a trivial request, but what do your
Trivial
people
or not?
like? Yeah, what do your
Command.
people like with prosthetics? Because this thing is seen better days.
Prosthetics.
You
He
know, it
sort
just
of
kind of-
eyes your wooden leg as you pop it off.
Yeah.
He looks down. Well, we have a few talented metalsmiths that can probably provide something like that. It certainly won't be the most refined piece of work, but if you want truly refined mechanical work, you would need to visit the gnomes. They're very good at that sort of thing. However, we can probably improve a little bit on your one there. Maybe an enchantment to make it weigh the same amount as your normal leg. I'm assuming the other one is normal.
Yeah, I've only lost one leg.
Right. Yes,
I
no,
might be able to help your metalsmiths with some enchantments if they're willing to accept.
Well, if you can help with enchantments, then yes, that is certainly aid that we will be happy to take. Yes, indeed.
Thanks, Brian.
Do you want a knife in your leg?
It will be handy.
I feel like, yeah. Or a crossbow. I could do a crossbow. You want a crossbow leg? Gun leg?
Like the commander figure from the Buzz Lightyear cartoon.
The High Regent turns to you, Darren. Says, "Well, what about you, my studious friend?"
I want access to your foremost authority on transmutation magic.
Oh, well, I mean, everything that you've seen in the Royal Academy is about everything that we have, I'm afraid.
You don't
We
have
may
anyone
have-
particularly good with the practical application of such knowledge?
Not in Farenholm. However, there may be a few practitioners across Rodavi that you might find can help you with your inquiries. I can give you a list of people the cities where you can find them, or the places where you can find them, some of them are very remote. I will warn you. There's only 4 or 5 people that I know that work in transmutative magic. Even fewer that have taken such an interest in draconic beings as you have. But I know a few. So that is something I can probably help with.
A letter of introduction would be also much appreciated. I
Yes.
don't imagine they would take kindly to me simply showing up at their doorstep and making demands.
Yes, no, I shall arrange that. I shall arrange that. And the High Regent sort of turns to Prod and says, "What do you want, my friend?" And Prod says something next session. That's where we're going to leave it off. Thank you all very much for joining us this evening. I hope you all had fun. I've certainly enjoyed myself.
Yeah.
I enjoyed setting you up against the first major boss.
Yippee! On my second session.
On your second session.
Welcome to the deep end.
Yeah, and I hope you're learning a bit more about how monks work, Dusty.
How what works?
How monks work.
Yes.
But yeah, as for now, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all very much for joining us. We're going to go raid a TB Sliver over on the Twitch side. Thank you very much for joining us. I hope you all had fun. We will be back week after next for some more D&D, hopefully with a full cast next time. But yes, as for now, thank you all very much for joining us. Have a very good evening, everyone, and a very good night. And we shall see you all next time. Ta-ta for now.
Bye-bye.